In this chapter, what we're going to talk about is converting images into black and white, among a couple of other things too. So in your exercise folder, you do have an image that begins with 950 of Venice. Photospin took this image. Don't know why they didn't ask me to do it, but they didn't. We're going to convert this image into black and white. We're going to talk about some of the methods that we can use to do that, and then we'll kind of wind up with what I think is the best way to do it, all in this one lesson. I mean, let's put it this way. We've been converting images into black and white in Photoshop since Photoshop first came out. Your digital camera can do that for you. Most digital cameras allow you to click a button and convert images to black and white. But why would you limit that on your camera when you have the control here? So here we are. We are in Venice. Let's start with 3 different ways we can convert an image into shades of gray, black and white. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to go into this little button right here, and that is my history panel. If you don't see that, you can go up to the word window and find it there. This little button right here I love because it allows me to make a copy of the file, and I'm going to click that 2 times. So now I have 3. I'm going to go up to the word window, go down to arrange, and select tile all vertically so we can see all 3, and let's close this out right here. The first method is probably the one that just seems the most logical to use. We select it right over here. We go up to the word image on the pull-down menu, go down to mode, and select grayscale. Now notice what it's telling me. It's saying, well, you could do this, but I think you're going to do a better job if you go to black and white. We're going to talk about that at the end of this lesson. And you can always say don't show again if you don't want to see that. I'm going to say discard. And there's our first one. Okay, that's in shades of gray. Another way that is very popular, even still, is to use the LAB color space. Because remember, right now we have 3 channels. Let me go to this one so we can see this. Of red, green, and blue. And those channels control the colors when we go back to RGB. If we go up to the word image, go down to mode and select LAB color, we get lightness A and B. Now lightness represents the brightness of the colors, A and B the colors. So if I select lightness right there, and then go back up to the word image, go into mode and say grayscale, and it's going to ask if I want to discard the other channels. I say yes. I get that. Now notice it is different. Some of these areas like around here are a little bit lighter. Sky's a little bit lighter up here. So it's a different way to do it. The third way to accomplish this, a way we've been doing it for 100 years, let's go to this one. Let's go back to layers, is go up to the word image, go to adjustments, and select desaturate. Now what desaturate does is it equalizes the color channels. They're all the same now. What does that mean though? Well, what it means is basically with all 3 color channels being the same, it converts things into shades of gray, their brightness as opposed to a color. Now, every one of those is slightly different. Might take a good eye to really tell, but each one of them is slightly different. But the problem, if you want to call this a problem, is the fact I'm not controlling the process and I want to control the process. So let's do this. Let's close this one. And I'm not going to save it. And this one, and I won't save that one either. This is the one that we converted using grayscale. That was our first one. Let's leave that one. Make another copy. And we'll close this for now. Go up to the word window and say arrange, tile all vertically. Now this one is the grayscale. This is our original, so we can take that one back to full color, which I do want to do. Okay, so there we have this one as a comparison to this one over here. This time, let's go back to layers. Let's go into our adjustments and choose black and white. Now let me move this over to about here so we can see both images pretty good. They don't look much different right now. Now we can tint. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. We can change to a different type of conversion. And all it's really doing is moving this stuff down here. Let's go back into default for now. We have an auto button over here if you want to use that. And let's go back to default. What I like about converting an image into black and white using this feature is that I can control what the colors are converted into concerning shades of gray. So, see this little option right here? I love this. Click it. What that allows you to do is go into the image and sample a color and then drag left or right to change its value down here instead of you guessing at which one of these it is. So if I come up here to the sky, you might say, well, it's probably blue. Well, if I click in there, watch what happens. That's cyan. But see what I can do? I can add darker skies in those areas by changing that one area. Now I can come back down here and say get on here and click again. And I can change those areas too. Lighten or darken them up. You have the control here. You are in control. Anywhere you click, it'll pick that color up for you and it will begin changing it. So you decide what areas get the changes just simply by clicking and dragging. That to me is control. The other thing is, I don't believe that converting an image into black and white is some formula that's going to work for every single image. You're the photographer. You have the eye of the photographer. You make the changes based on what you like. Now, there is one more thing about this tool that I do like down here, is that if you come up here, the sampling size, when it clicks to decide the color it's going to change, is only 1 point by default. But if you want a better average, then you can change the tool right here to select more different colors and choose an average as you're making the change. I think all in all roads considered, that if you want to make a change to an image and convert it from color to black and white, this is the best way to do it.